Greetings, Masandawana. The Yellow Corner is back, and this time we bring you the preview of our away trip to Sudan as we take on Al Hilal in game week 5 of the Group B Champions League, CAF Champions League. And yeah, we've not been around for a while. We didn't bring you guys the previews of our last two matches, the Gamia Al Ahly as well as Royal the DSTV Premier League. And yeah, unfortunately, we as a family, me and Raps and our family as a whole suffered a terrible loss. We lost someone that's very dear to heart to us, and yeah, we couldn't bring you guys the previews, but yeah, thank you to everyone who sent out the messages of condolences, man. Yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't update you guys on any other social media platform. We could only do it on Twitter. Yeah, thank you very much for the support and apologies once again. I'm sure you guys look forward to the previews, more especially the one year Al Ahly. But yeah, at least the guys had an emphatic win. And yeah, Rabs, how are you?
I'm not Arizona.
No complaints, man. I can't complain, man. Sundowns, yeah, he's doing the business, man. Yeah, let's get down to this preview, man. Like I said, we're playing Al Hilal away in Sudan. Have you been surprised by how this group has panned out so far?
Yeah, no, I think it has surprised us. One would expect that Sundowns and Al Hilal were going to dominate this group, but unfortunately, Al Ahly they find themselves in a position where they might not even make it to the knockout stages. And Al Hilal, I'm impressed with them as much as they are not playing the best football, but how they've managed to grind results. I think they've done very well. I think winning against Al Ahly was a huge win, and also winning away against Cotton Sport. I think it was another great win. So I think Al Hilal has surprised me in this season of in this group of ours.
Yeah, I've also been really surprised by how they've played, you know, where they are in the group right now and where Ali is, you know, they've caught me by surprise. I expected them to do well, but I thought maybe they would be number 3 pushing the two teams, you know. So yeah, they are on the brink of qualifying for the knockout stages. So yeah, they've really surprised me, man. After we clapped Al Ahly on Saturday, their coach made some comments that I found to be nonsensical. He was talking about how he hopes Sundowns will play fair against Al Hilal on Saturday. Basically saying, it's telling us, or no, we need to field our best team and go out and beat Al Hilal, something that he failed to do. Your thoughts on those comments? Because I think what Papela, to be honest, he has no right to tell us what to do, and I think there's a thing that in North Africans they believe or the owner African football they need to dictate to everyone. Their goalkeeper made the stupid comments as well last week. El Shenawi Abuakar, no, us playing at 3 p.m. and a whole lot of hogwash. Your thoughts on what this coach said?
Yeah, no, these guys they think they own the African football, and those comments from their coach, I think it was very unnecessary. Basically saying that Sundowns they must not lose. If they lose, maybe that loss will be suspicious, like that. So I think the the other thing is that they get away with a lot of things, since they can say whatever they want. They feel like they own African football, and in some instances they are not punished for their actions or for their comments. Hence, they always feel free to say whatever they want to say.
We should have just sent the Sundowns Twitter footy team the Obi ayo coach akwa Ruto Rogar Papela na coach ya bona. Last year, Coach Rulani said something that triggered a whole lot of comments on Twitter. He said this is the right game to lose, and people went crazy about that. We now find ourselves where we've already qualified for the, what do you call this, the knockout stages. Would this be the right match to lose?
I think we can lose because of we have already qualified. But as Mamelodi Sundowns, I believe we're a team that wants to win every game, and we'd want to win this champion. We'd want to win this CAF Champions League without having any losses. So I think, as much as we don't want Al Ali to go to the knockout stages, but I think as Mamelodi Sundowns support, I want us to win this game so that if we win CAF Champions League, I know that we have won all our games in group stages and maybe as well as the knockout stages, because of we want to win all the games that you play. But even if we lose, I think it doesn't change a lot of things because of we have already qualified.
Hey, in public, we won't say what you really want to say, but in private, we know what we, we want and what we've been saying, because it would be nice to have those ones not make it to the knockout stages because of, their pedigree. And once it gets to the knockout stages, they turn into a different beast, But at the same time, you're thinking, flip, Rulani hasn't lost a match, man, and you don't want that L, So it's a really tricky one. It's a really tricky one because another thing is, if say we don't go for it, Sudan, man, and say Al Hilal beat us, and that automatically has Al Ali knocked out. Man. When Al Hilal go to Egypt, those ones might be spiteful, but you know what? Al Hilal to win so that they can win the group, and then Sundowns is number 2, and then they have to start in South Africa and then away in the knockout stages. So it's a tricky one, man. But
and
yeah,
I had a look on other groups, and the teams that are in position 1, yeah, those are very very tough teams. So maybe to try and avoid them, we should go all out and win all our remaining games. But I believe whoever we are going to face, I can be brave enough and say we are going to win. If we are going to win against everyone we are going to face.
same here. Right now, I fear absolutely no one. I fear if God was to organize his best team, the other two who are late, former players and challenge Sundowns, I think we'd beat God's team right now. That's how good we are right now, man. Looking at the standing star, the Champions League, they are currently number 2 on the group. Al Hilal, they've played 4 games. They won 3 of their games, lost 1, and they haven't drawn a game. Yeah, so they've scored 5 goals, conceded only 2. Their goal difference is 3. They currently sitting on 9 points, man. Let's talk about the approach, Raps, because I think this is a must-win for them. Yeah? I think they know if they don't win this match and they say they lose this match and then they have to go to Egypt, it might be really, really tough for them. So this is their best chance to qualify for the knockout stages, and they have to beat Sundowns. I think because of that, they will try to start really fast, and try and unsettle us in the early stages of the game. I think they'll be very, very offensive, try and get goal as early as possible. Sundowns' defending of the crosses remains their Achilles heel. You look at the best 2 chances that Royal AM had on Tuesday when we played them in the DSTV Premier League. The first one, Yamashiane, and then the second one, George. Both chances came from crosses, and they could have easily been the goal for Royal AM. So I think they definitely took note of that, and that's how they will try and hurt us. And then their captain Abdel Rahman, more lineup. The lineup has him as their focal point of attack. But what he does, that guy, he's very clever, man. He drops deep, it gets to the 9.5 position, or even 10, so that he makes space for Lilepo, who's been, I think, their best player in the group stages. He's got 4 goals. He's currently on 4 goals. So that thing, high that he does, this guy, Abdel Rahman, it makes it difficult for the center back. They don't know at times whether to follow him or let the midfielders take care of it. It's something that someone like Surprise was good at. Surprise would have him as our only striker at times, leading the line, but he drop deep and make space for other players, and so forth. And yeah, Lilepo has scored 2 free kicks in this year's Champions League. So I think they will try and win the set piece in dangerous zones. So we need to be careful of that, not to allow him. So like I said, he's currently on 4 goals. And yes, the second goal that he scored in Cameroon against Cotton Sport was a beautiful goal, man. So yeah, we need to be really careful. And then there's a guy that their number 12. He plays on the right. He's their right forward, Lamine Diado. He's very good, man. I thought they'd play Yassir more than him, but seemingly this guy has been playing quite a lot of the games this season in the Champions League. And then there's someone that we know very well who played for Cape Town City in Ajugan. He at that position high 8, the way he progresses the ball from midfield to forward, he has powerful runs and is able to move from their midfield department and to their attack. So I think that's how they will look to hurt us. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think because of their desperate for the results, I think they will be more offensive. I think this is the game where they will try and throw a lot of numbers up front so that they have enough numbers to create goal scoring opportunities. But they have to be cautious because of once we win the ball, that means they must close those gaps within a short space of time. And once they are late, that means we can punish them. But one thing that I would expect from them is that they should have enough numbers in the middle field. You look at the best chances or the majority of goals that Mamelodi Sundowns scores, it comes from the middle field where our players, they avail themselves or they create their own spaces and try to exploit those spaces in the middle field. So I think they should have enough numbers, and their number 10 should always drop deep to try and close Mokoena or Mudiba, who normally is part of the attack when we go up front. And also, you spoke about Lilepo, who has had a huge impact in this season for them. I think those free kicks and that volley scored against Cotton Sport, it speaks to his brilliant shooting technique. I think a guy like him, once he has the ball in the edge of the 18, we should try and close him as soon as possible because he can take the shot outside the box. And one thing from us, we should avoid making fouls around the 18 area because of he has scored 2 similar free kicks against Cotton Sport and Al Ali.
True, man. This is how I think they will line up. They haven't changed their lineup in a very long time in the Champions League, and but I think they will bring back Abdallah, that guy who got sent off against us. I think his suspension, if a deal and all. And I hope they play him because I think he's their weakest link in that back four. Their defense is not good at all. They might have only conceded 2 goals, but they can't defend. And against a team with attack Sundowns, I think Sundowns can head them. So, and their number 1 goalkeeper, Abdel Abdullah Abu, who I think is not a very good goalkeeper. He parries
Yeah,
a lot
no.
of shots and parries them directly back to play. You look at the goal that Keisha scored. So yeah, and then they are back for, yeah, I think it will be Al Tahir, Diouf, Abdallah, who will come back from suspension, and then Imoro. I think they will play a midfield three. Kediris, their six, and then the eight Ajugani Lento Agbana, who's really been impressive. And then up front, their front row will be Diadu, as well as Abdel Rahman and Dilepo. Let's talk about Sundowns Raps. We are very thin. We are losing players. And Mole Mo 16 Mole, we can't afford to lose Tebza. We've already qualified for the groups, for the knockout stages. Is it time to test Mbule at 6? Because Riva is not available. Zumu is not available. Okay, I'm not sure about availability of Riva, but the club said he's currently injured. I can't remember whether it was a groin or I can't remember the type of injury that he's carrying. Is it time to test Mbule at 6, like Coach Hulani said, or he sees him as a 6?
I think this is not the right time and it is not the right game because of one, we are playing away against a team that is desperate for the results and a team that will throw a lot of numbers. And one thing about Dumbul is that sometimes his work rate of the ball lags and sometimes he doesn't cover spaces like how Tebo does. So I think Mbule in this game, I don't think he will be suitable to play as a 6. And also, he didn't feature a lot in our past a couple of games against Royal EM. He didn't play against Ali Ali. He played, but he didn't have. He was not involved. He didn't have a number of touches in the middle field. And against Stellenbosch, he came on. He didn't have a brilliant game. So I think in this game, I think it is not suitable to start a player like Mbule at that position.
Olugwala, but I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, and you look at how he was exposed when he was around that 6 area when you played Stellis. His first touch, he lost the ball in a very dangerous zone, and the way he marked leading to that penalty. But again, he's not familiar with that role, so it will take time for him to grasp into playing in that position.
And Nigeria, as much as he's good in terms of dropping too deep to collect the ball and he is press resistant, but you also need someone who can protect the back line and who can cut those passes and cut those attacks from the opponents. And I haven't seen Mbule doing that more often. So that is part of the reason why I wouldn't start him against Al Hilal.
Okay, how will Sundowns approach this game?
I think first of all, I think we should continue doing what we have done in our previous games. You look at the chances that we have created. I think it comes from the middle field, and a team like Al Hilal, I think in the middle field they don't press enough. They are not aware of the spaces that is around them, and a team like Sundowns, they are always looking for that space in the middle field to create chances where Allende moves around to look for a space as well as Mayema and Zwane playing in between the lines. And against Royal EM, I think Shalulile took care of the ball very well. He had nice touches. And I think in this game, Mamelodi Sundowns will look forward to involving him more often in our attack and also in our combination play because of he displayed good chances and he showed that he can combine with other players. And Al Hilal, they're a team that makes a series of mistakes. Once they make the first mistake, you know that the second one will fall. You look at the goal that they considered against Mamelodi Sundowns in Pretoria. They allowed Blesser to push forward with the ball to find Mayem. And they didn't close Mayem enough to stop him from taking a shot, and he took a shot, and the goalkeeper, instead of pushing the ball away from goals, he pushed the ball in front of Maidula. So they're a team that makes a series of mistakes. So in this game, you should push them and force them to make that one mistake that will lead to other mistakes where we can punish them.
Great points, man. I think because they are going to start really fast, I really think they will start fast. The first 15 minutes will be very crucial in terms of how we contain them. You know, I think after 15 minutes, if the score is still 0-0 or we've taken a lead, that will demoralize them. So I think the first 15 minutes we just need to maybe try and contain. I know Hulani ball is not about that. Hulani ball, they go with you, but I think the first 15 minutes of the game will be very crucial. And maybe containing them doesn't necessarily mean being defensive. Containing them could be keeping possession and not allowing them to have the ball. And it's difficult to have teams without the ball, because to score goals, you need the ball. So maybe keeping possession and not being reckless, not necessarily maybe reckless for a lack of a better word, attacking them immediately. Well, because of how offensive I think there will be gaps all over the pitch that we can exploit. I think they will push a lot of numbers up front, and maybe we can head them in transition in this match. In the first leg, Neo Miami received, and you mentioned this, we dangerous more central. Neo Miami received a lot of the ball, Harry Mole, and then he'd have ample space in front of him, and he'd move with the ball. So, and Neo makes good decisions when he carries the ball from between the middle field and the 18 box. You look at the pass that he laid for Shalom against Al Ahly. I think it was Shalom's first goal. Yeah. So that space that we capitalized on, I think our technical team will look to head them directly from the middle. And like I said, their defense is poor, man. Even though they've only conceded 2 goals, I think a team like Sundowns, more especially with, you see the goal that Maidula scored on Tuesday, that movement, that combination play, that quick passing in and around that area, we can help them because they are always caught in 6s and 7s, this team. And Sundowns, recently, I've seen how we're now taking a lot of shots from outside the box, which is something that used to frustrate me. That Sundowns, we don't shoot enough from outside the box. Means like we want to walk the ball into the 18. But in recent matches, I've seen us taking a lot of shots from outside the box. I would like to see that again because of how how poor their goalkeeper is. You know, the way he parries balls back into play. So yeah, I think that's how we should or we will approach the match. Lineups, are you starting or should I start?
Now you can start.
I'm making a lot of changes. Man. Yeah, I know there's the international break coming soon, but yeah, I think because we've qualified and I think we'll definitely win our last match. I'm giving a few guys a chance, and I'll start Riyadh. That's my one, and then my back four will be Tapelo, Onyango, AB, as well as Masheho. I will play Muvala, Monto, Musiksi, and then have Mayemal Alende as my 8 because I would like to rest them, but hey, we don't have numbers, man. And then I'll have Ralani at 10, and then my Lula. I'll play my Lula first half because he played first half about gaming Yantone. Yeah, really. So I'll start him this match and then bench Shalule, bring on Shalule, second half. And yeah, I'll have my Lula and Thabiso Kutumela up top. Yours?
I think from your lineup, I would have Mudiba in Mashoko's place, and I would have Shalulile in Thabiso Kutumela's place.
Everything else you're keeping the same?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Perhaps let's talk about something that's been happening at Sundowns since Coach Hulani took over. Coach Hulani has been giving a lot of these young kids the debuts at Sundowns, man. How impressive have you been by Coach Hulani doing that, as well as these boys grabbing the chances that he's giving them?
I think we've always been a team that gives the youngsters the opportunity to be part of the first team. And with Rulani, the other advantageous thing about him is that he comes from the development. He understands these young boys, and these young boys also understand him. And he introduced these boys at the right time. Everyone in South Africa want the youngsters to be part of the first team, but you need to look at the environment that that player will be part of, because if you don't want a player to be promoted from development to the first team, where else the environment in the first team is not that great and accommodative for him. So I think Rulani has done very well to introduce these boys at the right time, at the right moment, because of you don't want to give these boys too much responsibility to carry, because of it can destroy them. Hence, Rulani always introduce these boys when we are leading comfortable, where the game is already dead. So I think he has done very well in that department, and hopefully we are going to see other boys getting a couple of minutes going forward.
Yeah, no. I'm very fond of players like academy, man. Even if a player has spent a day at Sundowns Academy and gets promoted to the first team, anyone and everyone who knows me would know how much I loved the late Mujeka. He was my favorite player at Sundowns. Maybe at times I was not objective when I came to defending Mujeka, but because he was an academy graduate. But yeah, there's that thing, man. Yeah, the player at the academy, and the one thing that I loved Kahulan at the post match, yeah, game earlier, yeah, really, he mentioned who manage these boys. You don't want them to get big-headed, because it can easily happen. I mean, we see grown as men getting big-headed, and one of a teenager. So yeah, man, Ulani will win us a lot of trophies. But the one thing that I think I will always remember him for, and I really appreciate him giving these boys a chance, the breakthroughs, and history will always remember him for that. The other thing that I will always remember Hulane for his fearlessness, the football that we are playing. I think right now, Rapelang, we play some of the best football that I've seen Sundowns play. This is it's there's a tweet here in Noine that she posted, I think, on Wednesday or Tuesday after game. I'll put it down here when I edit. She said something along the lines of Sundowns, And to be honest, that 1 hour, 30 minutes plus watching Sundowns, I feel the same. I forget everything else or like it's Rulani ball is out of this world, man. How impressive have you been by forget the results, but the way we've been playing?
I think not only Mamelodi Sundowns fans are impressed with the type of football we are playing. I think majority of fans in the country and also in the continent, I think they are very impressed with how they play. I think against Al Ali in the first round, you listen to the commentator how he speaks.
First game of because our first round, it sounds like knockout stage or something like that. But yeah, I get what you say. Our away trip, basically.
Yeah, and our away trip in Egypt, you listen to the commentator how he speaks of this team. So it shows that not only Mamelodi Sundowns supporters appreciate and acknowledge this type of football we are playing, and also the supporters from different teams. And I think you spoke about how we have been brave this season. In previous season, I think we wouldn't approach certain games how we have approached them this season, more especially our away games against big sides such as Al Ahly. But Rulani stick with what has worked for him, and he took a risk, and some risks paid off.
You know, I would really love if Sundowns was to play Brighton. Coach Hulani posted something on his status last week or the week before last. Manchester City was playing at the same time as Brighton, and he enjoys watching City. And Brighton was playing, and he posted, he never thought there'd come a day where he would watch a game at Brighton over City. He's a huge fan at the coach here at Brighton. I'd love to watch a game between those two guys. I think it would be a proper game, and I think he'd also go for it. But yeah, before we end this, Rabs, we didn't get, we haven't done this for 2 games, and we've forgotten how this show goes. We didn't do the predictions. Your prediction?
I think Rodala 1-1. I think game of Flaga 1-1.
Who's scoring?
I think Peter will score, and I think Lilepo, because of his own form, I think he will score for Al Hilal.
I think we're getting our first L. I think they will beat us 2-1. I think they will beat us 2-1. Yeah.
When I say you want those ones to not make it to the knockout stages.
I hate doing it. I never. I don't want them to make it to the knockout stages. But at the same time, this record Rulani, man, I don't want us to lose it, man. But yeah, and I hate the type of fan that I'm turning into or predicting team high to lose. But yeah, I think because another thing of the changes that we'll make, I think we will lose 2-1, and I think Shalini will score. And yeah, just like that, Masandawana, that's yet another installment of the Yellow Corner. You will see us after the international FIFA break. Yeah, let's continue chatting when you commenting. Let's talk about these young boys that Coach Olan has been giving the debuts at Wonamo Sundowns. How impressive have you been? How Kibona and how they've performed. Until next time, sharp Masandawan.
Sharp Masandawan.